We did it. So I finally called my grandma and I'm like, hey, by the way, you wasn't raised by your grandma. I'm sorry to hear that. Because mom just wasn't cutting me. If I had been raised by mom alone, I probably would have been dead. God bless her heart. So I asked my grandma, I'm like, hey, what really made you send me to Sunday school? So she told me the story. So I go to daycare, 2 or 3 years old, I'm in daycare, right? This is not even a weekend. Not even a week into daycare, it hasn't even been 7 days. I come home from daycare, mind you, I'm 2 or 3 years old. Barely talking, barely walking, barely getting by. Right? So my grandma says, she sits me down, she starts clapping her hands. She's about to sing me a song. Right? Before my grandmother can even say anything, and I was there for 10 whole years later, they were like, you almost went too far on this, you have to bring it back to Longfield. But I'm allowed to Sunday school, daycare, all the way up to my 10th grade year. Sunday school really teaches you some things. And one of the big differences, one of the main differences I tell kids all the time, I meet kids, they're in Sunday school, they're like, I want to go to public school. I'm like, listen, public school kids are not eating. Islamic school kindergarten, I'm 5 years old. We're not having chicken nuggets and frozen pizza. Sister Naima is fighting high cholesterol and diabetes. 6 years old, we're having baked chicken, cabbage, yellow rice, and an Arnold Palmer. Dessert, we're having a slice of bean pie. It only gets better, we're having full-course meals. But I heard the Claire Mohammed School has a brother as a principal now. Is that true? Is he here tonight? Wow. He had on a nice watch. Y'all might want to watch him. You work at a school and we don't put brothers in charge of anything. You go lead the salat and sit down and shut up. Because we all know it. Brothers, we love y'all. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. My 7th grade year, the only year in Islamic school that we had a brother as a principal, right? I get called into the office. They caught me cutting class. I did it. Why I tried to cut class in Islamic school, where basically the whole school is in one room, I have no idea. I have no idea. They caught me right away. I'm in the library, they're like, Nadirah, come on, get back to class. I go sit in the principal's office. Mind you, I didn't go to Claire Muhammad schools. We had terrible uniforms. This big garment, emblem right on the front, and Noor Academy. I'm outside the principal's office, I'm waiting to be seen. Mind you, this is May. We've been in school since September. The principal comes out his office, sees me, and says to me, are you here to pick up your child? I was like, what? He's like, you here to pick up a child, right? I'm like, I go here. He's like, oh good, I was wondering, what time y'all get out? Y'all? I'm like, brother, we both go here. Did y'all take Arabic at Claire Muhammad School? Yeah, that's crazy. Who's fluent? Anybody? 12 years in Islamic school. You know what I got? Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. It's me, Nadirah. Nice, nigga. It's me, Tahira. Alhamdulillah. 12 years. When I finally made it to high school, finally got to public school, I fought the hard fight. That's Islamic school education. Fought the hard fight. My mama had another baby. She was like, girl, do whatever you want. My 11th grade year of school, I was like, these are heathens. What are y'all eating? What is this? Finally make it there. My first month, there was a scandal in the school. Found out a teacher was sleeping with a student. My mother was like, I knew I should have kept you in Islamic school. I was like, yeah, you should have. It's not too late to send me back. But the issue was, the student that he was sleeping with, he couldn't go to jail because she was overage. She was 19 in the 10th grade. I said, yeah, she needs to go to jail. That's the real issue here. Forget the situation, that's the real problem. And I finally made it to college. And they were like, oh, if you speak another language, you can pass out of that requirement. So you know what I did? I speak Arabic. Oh yeah, I definitely speak Arabic. I didn't know there was an oral part. After we got past the K for Alec, I was like, listen, you got me. I started reciting surahs. I'm like, A'udhu billahi. I'm like, yeah, you don't even know what I'm saying. So maybe you need to test out. Are you guys having a good time tonight? Please give me a big round of applause if you're having a good time tonight. Thank you so much. So we're going to move our program right along. For the trivia segment, which I'm very much so looking forward to, please welcome Sister Nadirah Ahmed, class of 2017. Please put your hands together. Come on, y'all, keep clapping until she get up here. Assalamu alaikum. Everybody is looking beautiful. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we're gonna play a little game, a trivia game, and this is for my alumni in the room. If you're an alumni in the room, can you please holler for me if you're not eating? Okay, we deep, okay. So wait, before I start off with the trivia game, I just want to give a little, if you from Mohammed schools, you were sent to your mama's classroom or office when you got in trouble. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the first question. I'm gonna have my assistant, Nadirah, come up and help me because if you know the answer to this question, please raise your hand with the highest of the highest so we can see you. And she's gonna help me scout out the room, whoever answers the question first. What year did Mohammed Schools of Atlanta receive their first mascot? Any hands? Anybody know the answer? Okay, how long we have the hand? Mohammed, Jad? Say that again. Let me see if you're right. He said 2017, y'all. You are right. Woo! Okay, so we have one of our first winners. For the second question, now this might be a little difficult, but we'll see. Who was the first person to dunk at WD Muhammad Schools? What's your answer? Say that again. Room Abdul Rahman. That is not the correct answer. Anybody else want to give it a shot? Okay, wait, the brother in the back with the suit. Say that again. Nope. Try again. Okay, sister in the purple. Yes. Say that again. Nope. What's the? Oh, come to. What's the answer? She's absolutely right. Ishmael Mohammed. She said it's not right. Look, I didn't get the answers. Y'all somebody come correct me. Totally incorrect. It was not son, Harun Abdul. So y'all ready for the third question? Okay, so you all should get this answer because they just said this earlier. So I'm gonna need you guys to raise your hands with the quickness. What was the first graduating class? Sister right here in the red. You're absolutely right. Woo! Okay, you guys. So that was it for the trivia game. Thank you so much for participating. Shout out to all my alumni. I'm gonna give it back to Nadirah P. How was that game, y'all? Are we ready for the next part of this presentation? Please give me a round of applause. Thank you so much. I know we're here. We haven't seen each other in years, some of us over 20 years. But please give the host your attention. Talking to you, Brother Rashid. Thank you very much, because you didn't even go here. His wife did. Anyway, for the next part of this segment, we're going to welcome our Principal Khalil Ali, class of 2003, and he is going to present the Alumni Awards segment. Please give him a round of applause. And don't forget to look into him, y'all.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Assalamu alaikum. All right, I feel a little bit better about that. All right, I just wanted to go ahead and I'm really proud to announce this Alumni Awards presentation. I myself am an alumni of class of 2003. I just want to go ahead and put that out there as the best graduating class of all time. Y'all know the truth. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So, Mohammed School of Atlanta just graduated its 30th graduating class, and we now have over, go ahead, give me a clap for that one. Our 30th graduating class with over 500 alumni. 500 alumni. So this evening, we would like to recognize some of our outstanding alumni. Our first awardee is Mohammed Jihad, class of 2012. Can you stand up, please? There we go, right there. Mohammed is the co-owner of Spring Greens Cafe. I know some of you all are familiar with that. I just got some ribs earlier today. Yes, he is the co-owner of Spring Greens Cafe. He was instrumental in facilitating the feeding of 16,000 people during Ramadan 2020. That was when the pandemic first began. So please give it up for Mohammed Jihad. Y'all got something? Come on. I didn't see the award. Assalamualaikum. How's everyone doing tonight? I want to first thank Allah for blessing me to be here in everyone's presence. Thank you, Mohammed Schools and the alumni, teaching staff, faculty. When I first attended Mohammed Schools, it was in ninth grade. I was a teenager. Alhamdulillah, I graduated, and it brought me to be a young man. Alhamdulillah for my parents who believe in Allah in the last days. My father, Fareed Jihad, was a businessman and was a pillar of the community, and may Allah bless him with the highest level of paradise and one day unite us all together. My stepfather, Imam Siraj Wahad, who sacrificed for me and my sister, Baina Jihad, to allow us to come to Muhammad Schools. And may Allah bless him with a good life in the next. I want to thank my amazing wife who is currently feeding our son right now for her patience, her understanding, and her support. Because without her, right now I'd probably be somewhere else. I want to also thank my loving mother, Jamila Jihad. I especially thank Allah for her strength, her support, her vision of family life and community life. She played a huge role in my upbringing, and I just want to thank her so much. Unfortunately, she's unable to be here tonight because she's holding down Spring Greens and Jada Shea Cafe right now. And I also want to thank my wonderful staff at Spring Greens. We got Sister Khadija here as well. I want to thank her especially. We just recently got our safe inspection, and Sister Khadija was in charge of making sure everything was on point, so I want to give her a shout out as well. Thank you. We got 100, alhamdulillah. And overall, I want to thank the Atlanta Magic community as well, man. So many of you all been supporting the cafe ever since we opened, and I just want to thank every last one of you all as well. And may Allah continue to bless Muhammad Schools. Also, we open again tomorrow for breakfast, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So inshallah, I see everyone else there. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum. All right, alhamdulillah. That place is always gonna have a soft spot in my heart. I actually worked, that was one of my first, that was my first job when I got here. It was called Medina's Delight back then. But I worked there in the back, making Philly steaks. I think I still know how to make them. But anyway, next, we have Dr. Kiana Johnson, class of 2000. Where is she at? Where is Dr. Kiana? That's all right. Dr. Johnson, she has a doctorate of nursing practice from the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. She is the owner of Lotus Family Wellness Center, where she provides health care to the underserved. Dr. Johnson also offers a special program to the staff of Muhammad Schools of Atlanta, where she offers health care at a reduced price for staff and a free bi-weekly COVID testing for students. That is amazing. She helps make sure that we are safe. So please welcome Dr. Johnson.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you all so much for this award. I'm really grateful. I am grateful to be an alumni of Muhammad Schools of Atlanta. I attended Muhammad Schools of Atlanta since the age of 3 years old. Being an alumni, I have learned to take the good with the bad, and we've had some great times and we've had some bad times. And I think going to the school has taught me to make the best of both of those. I am very grateful for my supportive family. And I have some very special people in my life who have moved on, but my grandmother and sister Edwina, I definitely, when I step out and do the work that I do, I keep them in my heart, in my mind. And it's not always easy to do the work that we do. And oftentimes people say if you love what you do, then it doesn't feel like work. I can't say that I always love what I do because sometimes what I'm doing is very sad. But I can say that I'm very passionate about helping those in need. And I'm grateful to have several role models that have taught me how to help those in need, including my parents, Sister Karan, my dad, who is not here, but he gives a lot to the community, and he has taught me the importance of giving to those in need. And I definitely can't go without thanking my supportive partner. I can't say he's my spouse because he's my husband, but he is my partner, and I definitely can't do what I do without him. And thank you all to my community and those who have supported me.
All right, let's give it up one more time for Dr. Johnson, please. Their family is a staple in our community. Once you see one, you know you've seen the whole family. They got a distinctive look. All right, so this couple, they graduated from Mohammed schools in 2010. And they have been instrumental in working with the students of Mohammed schools through the Sister to Sister and the Brother to Brother mentoring program. So our first person is Sharif. Sharif is the CEO of New Africa Ventures, which houses brands including We Buy Black, Soul Food Market, and Corral Oral. Yeah, excuse me. And then we have him joined by his wife, Zara, who she is also an entrepreneur. She has a fashion and a head wrap line called Friday's People. All right, so Zara and Sharif have 2 children enrolled at Mohammed schools, 2 amazing children. Can we give it up for Zara and Sharif? There we go.
All right, assalamu alaikum. All right, I'll keep it short. I am not much of a talker. I just want to make sure that I thank everyone. Firstly, I want to thank Allah for bringing us here, for giving us life, for allowing us to have the journey that we have had. And I also want to thank you all, the organizers, for this event. Those of you all who nominated us for this, we appreciate it. And I was listening to Kiana. I also want to make sure I thank the people who were instrumental in my experience at Mohammed School. I was a boarding student from 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, so I stayed with Sister Alumni primarily. Also stayed with Sister Nadirah, Haja Amina. So I want to thank you all for keeping me. So, all right, I'll pass it.
Assalamu alaikum. We want to first and foremost thank Allah. He is our protector, the nurturer, the sustainer, and He make all things possible for us. There's nothing that we can have in this life if not for Allah. If we don't get it from His creation, then we can't have nothing. So I want to thank Allah first, thank our families. You know, many of you all who don't know our story, my wife came from Columbus, Ohio to attend W.D. Muhammad High School. I came from Washington, D.C. Alhamdulillah. And I tell you, you know, from the side of DC I came from, it wasn't easy. And as I was sitting there listening to people, I thought about, I said, you know what? I kind of forgot where I came from a bit. And all the things that transpired. At one point I remember we couldn't even go through our front door because our family was threatened. Many people don't know that. We had a situation with all type of stuff. I don't even know how to get into it. But it just hit me. I'm like, man, I forgot all about all of this. I don't really think about it no more. But alhamdulillah, we're here, we're present, you know, and I want to thank this community for being a nurturing environment that made it conducive for us to be the people that we are today. We recently just had 2 beautiful children on top of the 2 that we already had, so we have 4 children. 2 of them are in Muhammad schools. My daughter came back singing the Clara Muhammad School song that I sung in DC. And she was in the car singing it, and it hit my heart. I haven't heard that song since I was a child. So it was just a real version. You know what? When I went to Oakland, When I went to Oakland, I heard the sisters singing a song. And I didn't hear that song since I was a child. But alhamdulillah, I thank Allah for this community. I stayed in 5 different homes in the years that I was here. Actually 7, it was technically 7. 7 different homes in the years that I was here. Sister Brenda, Sister Edwina, Sister Baina, Imam Mansour. I stayed in 2 of his homes. The first home was in my junior, second year. Me and my wife got married, so we was living in his basement, so he built out the basement for us to live there. So alhamdulillah, it's so much, man, you know. We're just grateful, but we thank Allah. Last thing I gotta say to all our peers, trust Allah. Allah's number one. He's the only God. If you need anything, turn to Allah. The religion of Al-Islam is enough. We ain't gotta go nowhere else. The Quran is enough. We ain't gotta go to nowhere else for guidance but the Quran. And we should turn to people who help us understand the Quran if we don't understand it. But before we go to anywhere else, go to God first. Go to Muhammad the Prophet. Go to Ali ibn Muhammad, who helped us come closer to the Quran, come closer to Muhammad the Prophet. Trust that. And if we could all do that, Allah will advance us. He'll forgive us, and He will advance us. Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum.
All right, let's give it up again for Sharif and Zara Abdul. All right. And those 2 are very inspirational. Matter of fact, we have a whole page in terms of a marriage policy we had to institute in the school because they got married in the school. Shining example. Excellent. All right, the next couple has been part of the Muslim community for more than 30 years. It almost hurts me to say that, more than 30 years. So we're gonna honor Dr. Suleiman, class of 1993, and Samaya, class of 1997. They have been married for 21 years. 21 years. Committed to Muhammad Schools of Atlanta, not only do they support the school financially, but they also give their time through volunteerism. Dr. Suleiman and Samaya have been educating their 4 children at Muhammad Schools since 2005. They have a daughter who is alumni of the school and 2 children currently enrolled. So let's give it up to Dr. Suleiman and Samaya Wazir.
The daughter of Lorenzo Diaz and Rashida Diaz, the granddaughter of Bilal and Amatullah Muhammad. 4 of many that I credit for this virtue that I took to heart this day. Hard work, humility, and charity. As a young child, I recall my father working tirelessly to provide for his family. My mother provided the necessary skills to take care of me and my siblings. My grandmother's free, nurturing spirit, who had answers to everything, and my grandfather support anything she did. Those are the legacies, but what's mine? Being a part of the Muhammad School community for more than 30 years has been an experience that I'm fortunate to learn from and use for benefit those in need. From meeting my husband, befriending some of the most wonderful people in my life, best friends, attending an institution with all of my siblings, to being able to send mine and our children to the schools that helped me develop and prosper as a person. For a school that invested so much in me, why not return the favor? I ask myself again, what is my legacy? It takes hard work, humility, and charity to build a community. So I thank my fellow alumni and community for honoring me and leading me in the direction to my legacy. Thank you, and I'm from
That's we only gave us 2 minutes to speak, so I figure I follow with 2 minutes. Sharia, come here. That's my TT. I'm not sure. That's who I am. So I wrote a couple of things down. I want to thank first and foremost Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Without faith in hand and God in mind, I will not be standing here in front of you today. This award is very much an award that I'm accepting for the community. Each and every one of you have contributed to who I am today. This is never, ever about me. It's much about you. And so I only have 2 minutes left. I have 100 seconds left. So just my siblings, my classmates, the pioneers, my family, my mother, my father, everyone, I definitely appreciate who I am today. So while I leave you all, I want to leave you all with some motivation. And this motivation is that I leave you a message, the art of impossible. In the 7th grade, the impossible dream. To dream the impossible dream. To fight the unbeatable foe. That resonates with me today. The art, the impossible dream. Who would have thought I'd be a physician right now? Somebody thought it was impossible. Who thought that I would go to Japan? Somebody would thought it was impossible. Who thought I'd have 4 children? Well, that was kind of easy. Yeah. All right. Who thought I'd be at Auburn University running track? They thought it was impossible. Who thought that one day I would be the medical director of a hospital? Who thought one day I would be the vice president of medical affairs of a hospital? Who thought that I would one day would be the chairman of the hospital? The impossible dream. The impossible dream. Who thought one day actually I'd be making the journey into Hajj? The impossible dream. Who thought one day that we'll be here? That's the impossible dream. Who thought one day we'll have a Mohammed schools with over 300 people right now? The impossible dream. So, there are many things that, when I start writing a real keynote speech. I was like, let me slow down. So as I close, there are many things with the art of impossible, how we get there. It takes grit, that takes determination, that takes focus. Anything that you say, you know what, you did it. You say, how did I get here? How did I get here? Think about all the tools and talents it caused you to get there. Focus, determination. You know what they say. You get a job with your EQ or your IQ, but you get promoted with what? Your EQ, the emotional intelligence. Those are the intangibles why my children are at the school, to build their emotional intelligence. Because once you get a job, it's all about the resume, but get promoted, it's about what? Your emotional intelligence. So, I'm gonna leave with you 3 things, and my daughter better know this. She don't know she's coming. So, one thing I always say to the community, you already know the what?
The process.
The process. You know the what? You already know the what?
The process.
The process, right? You ready? Excellence requires what?
Repetition.
Excellence requires what?
Repetition. Building
emotional intelligence. That's what I'm doing today. And last thing, what it takes to be a friend. I am a firm believer of the art of friendship. That's proximity, frequency and duration, and intensity. Those are the friendship principles. So, as a community, let's master the art of impossible, and let's teach everyone, I challenge you to become a friend. Thank you.
All right. I can't say anything more than that. That was amazing. Can we give it up again for our alumni? All right, I'm going to pass over the mic to our amazing comedian, Sister Nadirah.
Let's give them another round of applause, please. May Allah bless all the awardees and keep them steadfast. Ameen. Thank you. So, before anything else, I just want to say, any brother that says the religion of Al-Islam has been through some things, has seen some things. He almost told us about a crime, but he caught us. He said, you went back in D.C. anyway. Alhamdulillah, may Allah reward you. So keeping the program going, I want to thank you guys so much for giving us your utmost attention, for giving us your eyes and your ears. And next up is a brother that would definitely demand both. Please put your hands together for the poet, the author, the designer, and aspiring scholar, Yusuf Krama.
Thank you, Nadirah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I was over there holding my breath, hoping Nadirah didn't crack any jokes on me. That's why I put my wife right next to her to keep her in check, you know? My wife from Jersey too, so she know how to deal with you. It's a little bit of wisdom from Imam Sule, my teacher, the master teacher, mashallah. Alhamdulillah, it's a complete honor and pleasure, and here goes my son Najashi. It's a complete honor and pleasure to be here. Walillahi alhamd. The Prophet Muhammad said that khayrukum man ta'allam Quran wa 'allama, that the best of you are those who learn the Quran and teach it to others. And I used to think that statement just meant memorizing the book by absorbing information, but it's showing people how to live by the Quran, how to walk and talk and be the Quran. So I think that's a great embodiment of what the Muhammad schools have to offer. And for the last 3 months, I've been in Tampa, Florida. They built this $13 million institution, an Islamic school, and they hired me to how to implement best practices to teach the kids how to speak Arabic. So, and 95% of the school are Palestinian kids, so even the Arab kids can't speak Arabic. So don't even worry about it. We're gonna be all right. If they ain't get it right, we're gonna get it right before them, inshallah. So my intention, my need is to come back to my community and to bring back the things that I've learned, the best practices, so we can graduate kids in Muhammad school, that every graduating class will be able to read, write, and speak Arabic fluently. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, that's my intention. And I stated before you, Allah is my witness that we're gonna make it happen, inshallah ta'ala. And may Allah make it so. So I have a dedication piece that I would like to dedicate to Dr. Zahira Khan, who's an amazing embodiment of what it means to live, talk, breathe, speak, and be the Quran. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is a dedication piece to Dr. Zahira Khan, a phenomenal woman, an educator of generations, a gift from the divine. And if I could, tonight I will list out each and every one of your amazing accomplishments, but it would take me 2 lifetimes. Because sister, you are nothing short of incredible. The way you move mountains and move minds, and not to mention your style is impeccable. I mean, is there anything you are not able to do? You who walk in the footsteps of Nefertiti, of Bilqis, of Nzinga, of Khadija, of Nana Asma'u, of Betty, of Coretta, of Clara Muhammad, and Aisha. You are mother, matriarch, teacher, doctor, scholar, revolutionary leader. You are a phenomenal woman. Yes, indeed, this is true. And there would be no Muhammad schools without women just like you. And there would be no Muhammad schools without women just like you. So we thank you. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Another round of applause for her. So what I've learned in my few years of traveling and studying Islam is that there's a great tradition of female scholarship in the Islamic tradition that a lot of people don't know about. One of the greatest Islamic scholars was Aisha, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You have great scholars like Nana Asma'u, the daughter of Uthman bin Fodio, and even Imam Shafi, these great scholars that we look up to, they have female scholars who were their teachers. And one occasion, Imam Shafi, when he passed away, his teacher, Sayyidah Nafisa, they asked her, what was so amazing about Imam Shafi? And she said, Kana yuhsinu wudu, that he used to perfect his wudu. And anyone that perfects their wudu, they perfect their salah. And anyone that perfects their salah, they know that they're standing before Allah. So when I look at the work, these people that are putting the work in the Muhammad schools, it's about the consistency, the little things that we do each and every single day, perfecting the way that we educate the children, the way that we teach them Quran, the way that we embody the prophetic tradition. This is what it means to be Muslim. So I'm so grateful to have this tradition. I studied 4 years in Islamic school in Philadelphia, and I wasn't blessed enough to study in the Muhammad schools. But one of the things that I learned was that there was a lot missing in the curriculum. So when I graduated, I went to school for law school, and then I decided to go and study education. and I taught in a public schools for a little bit. And I always said that if I had an opportunity, I would educate myself to come back and really build up the Islamic school. So not can we only compete at academic levels, but we have also Islamic excellence, that of Timbuktu, and that of Al-Azhar Sharif, and that of Zaytun, but we can have that right here in Atlanta. So they didn't hire me today to, to do no keynote speeches, some poetry. And I feel my mother-in-law beaming at the back of my neck, so I'm gonna do some poetry, inshallah. I am one with the one, too woke to close my third eye. The four chambers of my heart is a residence of God, built on the 5 pillars of Islam. The 666 wants to push me out the 6 conditions of Iman until I'm falling from the heavens, 7 heavens like my grandfather Adam. Imagine me sinking like an 8 ball for living like I had 9 lives. Now 10 toes down to earth, amazed. When I turned 11, I was already 12 years a slave. Amazed by the 13th Amendment. But what they did to our ancestors pales in comparison to what they had planned for our descendants at 14. Ibrahim was already facing 15 to life. There was no sweet 16s. The 16s were faced back and forth through a kite. 17 were constant a day, praying just to make it to 18 because it feels like Philistine on these blocks. They killed my best friend Nasir at 19. Only 20 minutes away from his home. That's 21 shots dispersed in his arms, legs back in his dome. That's 21 teddy bears decorating a pole. That's 22 black boys dressed in all black, ready to seek revenge for his soul. That's 24 hours of paranoia. But black boy, don't you know you are beautiful? Don't you know you are chiseled from the sturdiest of mountains? I say, black boy, you are a fountain to wash away your woes. I say, black boy, you are beautiful. You are Malcolm X. You are El Hajj Malik Shabazz. You're black boy, you are beautiful. And without you, and without you, and without your lights, without your darkness, there would be no humanity. There would be no humanity. There would be no humanity. I said, black boy, you are beautiful. And when the light goes out in the universe, you are the universe's plan. I mean.
Takbir. He won't tell you, but I co-wrote that. We work together on that piece, because I do a little something myself. But after that, let's give Brother Yusuf Kurma another round of applause. So we've reached the part of the evening where we're going to do special presentations. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "He who does not thank the people does not thank Allah." So at this time, we would like to do a special tribute to Dr. Zahira Shakir Khan, former director of Muhammad Schools of Atlanta, Sister Shahida Sharif, parent of a scholar at Muhammad Schools, and president of the Sisters United in Human Services, joined by Natasha Haziz, also a parent of a scholar at Muhammad Schools, followed by Sister Zipporah Shamsuddin, business manager of Muhammad Schools, joined by Yaqeen Mohammed, class of 2021, Dr. Khan's last graduating class. Lastly, we have the emeritus imam of the Atlanta Masjid, Imam Kleeman. It's not a name you hear every day. Imam Kleeman Elamine, please put your hands together for them.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. With the name of Allah, the merciful benefactor, the merciful Redeemer. Assalamu alaikum. As we all know, leadership can be a very challenging and thankless job, as many of us here who are in leadership know and fully understand. As she said, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever is not grateful to people is not grateful to Allah. So as a parent, a community worker, and supporter of Muhammad Schools of Atlanta, I wanted to acknowledge the consistency and sacrifice and openness of Dr. Khan since the time she joined us. She was able to take on new ideas that we offered her, supporting them along the way and implementing them, which is huge and commendable, especially when we're used to doing things a certain way. She was open to a healing circle, a STEAM program, and she made sure and checked in along the way, and she will circle back to check those T's and cross those C's and dot those I's. Excuse me. And she always made sure that everything was going well, and I appreciate her for that. We thank you, Dr. Khan, and want to formally do so. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I knew Dr. Khan as Sister Zahira. As a freshman at Florida A&M Agricultural University, I met her as the mother of one of our fellow classmates, as one of my Muslim Student Association members. She has just been an activist, a supporter, an educator, a mother, a sister, wherever she is. A lot of people move around, but they're not active everywhere they go. That takes a special kind of spirit to move and then engage where you are and not just stay in the background. She's retired. She has done her educating of the nation, of the community. This is something she did not have to do. She didn't do it for the money. In fact, she refused the money. The garden that you all see at the school, she named for Deuce. She gave it that name, and she gave it the opportunity to grow. So she's not just an educator of minds, she's not just a grower of children, she's a grower of spirits. So we have to understand that and appreciate every day in our community we're losing people, and we have to appreciate them while they're here. We may not have to agree with everything someone does. We don't agree with what our moms, dads do, our sisters do. But we love them. We don't just write them off. Disagreement doesn't mean disabandonment, you know? So I just want to say, I just appreciate, like Shahida said, she's open to new ideas, helping, persevering. And a lot of times she went into her own pockets and the pockets of her friends to make sure our school worked every day. Every day. She was there opening those doors to the school in the dark, locking it up in the dark. We have to show that appreciation. When people don't show up, she was there. We have to know that. She wasn't paid, she was retired, she had a pension, she's got 3 degrees, she raised her children. She did not have to do this. This is what she chose and committed to do. And we have to always, always appreciate that. When people are gracious enough and have faith in Allah enough to do that for us. And I can't say enough about that for the time that my children have been here and been able to experience that. And so Dr. Khan, I truly appreciate you as a mother, a sister, an educator, an elder, and a friend, inshallah.
Let me tell you about Dr. Khan. She mirrors cleanliness, organization, and following up on the follow-up. She has a passion for service and helping others. Have you ever had a friend or a spouse that will consistently say, no, I'm not getting that, we can't afford that, that's too much? Or they ask, where are you gonna get the money to pay for it? Or you find out what they spent after you received the bill. Well, that was the kind of relationship that Dr. Khan and I had. Being a business manager at Mohammed schools, I would tell her what we couldn't afford, and of course, she would spend anyway. She would spend with her own resources, foregoing her own salary for 5 years, and giving where else she could, like helping parents pay their children's tuition, or buying a new pre-AP curriculum to ensure our students would be able to compete globally. Her generosity spread to the graduating class by personally matching college scholarships they would receive and paying salaries for staff that the school didn't have in their budget. She remained firm and patient while weathering the day-to-day duties of being the director. When I think of Dr. Khan, I am reminded of Surah 2, 177.
Assalamu أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين وآتى المال على حبه ذوي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل والسائلين وفي الرقاب وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة والمعوفون بعهدهم إذا عاهدوا والصابرين في البأساء والضراء وحين البأس أولئك الذين صدقوا وأولئك هم المتقون صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It is not righteousness that you turn your faces towards east or west, but it is righteousness to believe in Allah and the last day and the angels and the book and the messengers, to spend of your substance out of love for Him, for your kin, for orphans, for the needy, for the wayfarer, for those who ask, and for the ransom of slaves, to be steadfast in prayer and practice regular charity, to fulfill the contracts which you have made, and to be firm and patient in pain or suffering and adversity, and throughout all periods of panic. Such are the people of truth, the Allah-fearing. Surely Allah speaks the truth. Dr. Khan, you have poured your love, heart, and soul into our school. May Allah bless you as He has allowed you to bless others.
Dr. Zahira Khan, we've known each other now close to 50 years. Can you believe that? I knew you when you were Sister Peggy. What X was that? Peggy, what X? Peggy 2X, yeah. She has a wonderful upbringing. Her father and mother were big landowners in Ellenwood in DeKalb County area, and her father, Henry Lincoln Jones, and mother Manny Jones, he developed communities. There's a whole community that he developed and owned the land and the property that sent on to the family. Just wonderful people. As has been said, Dr. Khan is a seriously successful administrator. When we were looking for a new principal, Sister Sophia Shaheed said, why don't we look into people who have retired? And so that put her up on the top of the list because she's retired from 2 different systems and has worked in has headed up 3 different educational systems, big systems. And so we were blessed to get her, and as was said, she refused to take any salary for a long time. We just had to make her take something, and probably gave all of that back in her charity. She lives and leads looking at regulations and policies. She knows that in and out. She's an administrative genius, I would say. Procedures and has instituted records and filing systems that keep track of every student accomplishment, but also of everything we do at the school. As it was said, as Sephora says, that she would have these big ideas and we say there's no money, I don't know if we can do that. She would do it and she would find the money for it. And I used to, she would always bounce it off of me. Sophia used to consult with me and we'd come to consensus. Dr. Khan would bounce it off of me, and if it bounced back, she went on and did it anyway. So 2 good examples. She didn't want the lockers to sit on the floor because we couldn't clean the floors under the lockers. So she had Brother Nadirah to come up with a way of raising the lockers up so we could have those floors spotless under the lockers as well as out in the hallway. And the other one was she wanted to put these automatic locks on the doors of the school for security reasons. I said, well, can we afford that? I don't see any way we can afford that. And we do it, we're gonna have somebody sitting at a desk, buzzing them in. Next thing I knew, all those doors had security locks. Teachers had their cards. Teachers had their key cards and everything. And if you left that school, if you went on to another job somewhere else, she would hunt you down to get that key card back to make sure the school was secure. Just always wonderful things. She brought she has a wide array of associates and friends, and she got them committed to the school with their resources and with their talents. Outside of the Muslim community, even just all kinds of people supporting the school.
And she just has been wonderful, and we really appreciate her. They asked me to tell things that nobody would know. And I just want to make sure everybody knows all the things that have been said. But to tell the few things that nobody would know, I didn't have many of them, but I did have two. And I've forgotten them now. I don't worry about these little lapses anymore because I just love seeing these alumni these beautiful young ladies, these beautiful young women that went to our school and graduated. Sister Edwina and Brother Sadiq, they are smiling about these young ladies and these young men. And I just love that these young, hard-headed young men, students that we had, many of them are bald. There's one, he's bald. He's bald over there. See him on bald. I just love them. I love them. So now, two things that we don't know. Dr. Khan has all these degrees, and she went back to school to get certified as under library science. She's now officially a librarian as well. Just think that. Where did she find the time to do that? And also the last thing I have is, you wouldn't know it, but she's an avid NASCAR fan. She follows NASCAR. She knows all the car races and everything. And what's the one brother's name that wins every now and then? He has, what's his name? Yeah, she knows them all. So we are blessed to have had her, and she is a lover of Allah, a lover of the Prophet, loves our Imam Waziruddin Mohammed, and she loves this community, and she loves education and enlightenment. We thank Allah much for Dr. Zahira Khan. Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
now I see why you all would let me be on the program committee. First of all, I want to always give honor and praise to Allah. As many of our alumni said earlier, it is with Allah's grace and mercy that all of us are able to be here. When I joined the Muslim community here in Atlanta, I had a wealth of role models that I could follow. And I am what I am today because of the members of our community. Whenever I would get a little discouraged at school, I would, think of what would Sister Edwina do. What would she say, with her calm presence and patience and this and just persistence. And she would always say, Allah is Allah, Allah is Allah, Allah is Allah. Just keep remembering that. Whenever I want to make sure that things at the school were in order and things, I would try to practice walking like Brother Sadiq would walk. He had a particular grade that he would walk through the school, checking on things, unlocking doors and turning on lights and things. So I tried to follow that as my example. Imam Bacha and Imam Pleman and our current imams, Imam Suleiman and Imam Rashad and others, have also given me the wisdom to go back to the Quran. And I don't know if Brother Nazir Rashid is here this evening or not. He is, okay. But Brother Nazir Rashid always comes in and gives me what he calls, what we term the patience talk. Whenever I say we're not moving fast enough, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, Brother Nazir would come in and give me the patience talk and say, it's coming, it's coming. Just have faith, and you'll see it, you'll see it. And so it's those people in the community that gave me the character traits that I've tried to live on. Another thing too that I've always wanted, that I learned from my parents, is that you lift as you climb. No matter how many degrees I got, no matter how many awards and other things, I always try to remember my community and help my community members get to the same place and enjoy the same things that I could enjoy. So I want to, and I'm so inspired by the alumni presentations this evening with what you've been able to, what you can see, that you've done, that the 41 years that we have put into the school. And then even before that, the things, the efforts that you put into the community, you see the fruits of it in the alumni today. And what I would ask before I close, I would ask that you continue to have faith in the school. I'm kind of like Imam Pleman. One other thing that Imam Pleman didn't share with you that he and I have in common is that we were both born in the same hospital. And so when you see me and Imam Pleman running around, checking on things, doing this and still involved, even though we retired way back when, it's because we're cut from the same cloth, as I always say, with that. So just. Okay. All right. We were both born at Harris Memorial Hospital on Martin Luther King Drive now. And back then it was Hunter Street, I believe. And it was an African-American run and owned hospital. And it was the only one, I think, here in Atlanta. And it was a small hospital, but very, very committed to the tradition of African-American excellence. And Dr. Benjamin Mays and many other people that were training the students at Morehouse and Spelman College, Clark, Atlanta University, and Morris Brown, they would work to make sure that their students had internships and residencies at an African-American hospital. So it's out of that strong tradition that we have in the Atlanta area of doing for self. So Islam and the Nation of Islam, the movement of just our community, it's well rooted. We're in fertile ground here in Atlanta in terms of doing for self and moving forward with that. I want to thank also my family. Oh, and I also wanted to say this too as well. Get behind Brother Khalil. Make sure that he is successful and that you support him. And look at the children that are at the school and look and see what their future is going to be. Make sure that they get a solid Islamic education and that they can move forward. And I want to thank my family. My son, Yusuf Shakir, came up from Florida to be with us this evening. My husband, Khalid. And with the things that I get away with and the money that I give to the school and with other things, all I can say is Brother Khalid Khan must love me. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. And our children, Zayd and Chas and Lakeisha, who I think had to leave. She's right here, who was also at the school as well. Zayd is a 2003 graduate of the Mohammed schools, and his classmate Fatima, who is here this evening, Ma'am William Abdul Rahim, his daughter, who is also an alumni of the school. So I want to thank them for their continued support and patience with me as I, would get up and make sure that things were going well at the school. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to serve as the principal and director of the school. And I also can't thank Sister Quran and Sister Sophia and Sister Sandra Alameen for laying the groundwork that I had, that I could just step onto, and I was able to move from your shoulders. So thank you all very, very much, Sister Sophia and others. And I believe that's it. I hope I thanked everybody as you have thanked me. Thank you. Alhamdulillah, let's give her another round of applause. We pray that her charitable efforts will weigh heavily on her scale on the last day. I tell people all the time, you need to ask somebody for money, you ask the sisters. Brothers, we love you, but you ain't got much going on. I go home and I'm like, hey, Mom, $20. So we want to thank you all so much. To end off our evening on a light note, we're going to have our wonderful band play us some music. They just told me that y'all are the type of Muslims that like to dance. Alhamdulillah. So we're just going to enjoy the band, relax, please mingle, make use of the photo booth, and we'll see you at the end of the night. Thank you. I'm so sorry, but can we have everyone seated for just 2 more minutes? I'm trying. I'm so sorry to interrupt your mingling time. Please sit down. There is unfortunately a part of the program that we have missed. Alrighty. Awkward. If we can just have everyone seated for 2 more minutes, please. There's a part of the program that we have missed, and we want to get to that. Aww.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Quiet, quiet, quiet. I got a special announcement. I got a $1 million announcement. Quiet, quiet. Everybody can be quiet. $1 million getting lower. Everybody sit down. I know you're taking pictures back there. Assalamu alaikum. Please, this is really important. Whoever in line taking the pictures, we got $1 million announcement. I know we got $1 million in the room, right? Yeah, we do.
The fact that that actually worked, y'all are sick. But to end off our program this evening, there's a crucial part that we missed. We are going to have some words from our beloved brother Masood Abdurrahman Wiggins, class of 1999, as well as our sister Majida Abdul Kareem, member of the Mohammed School's Consultative Board. Please give them a warm round of applause.
So, there you go. I don't know where Wiggins came from. It's a long story. And I want to give a shout out to all the brothers in the room. Now, I don't know who hurt that sister in New Jersey. And she's been dogging us all night. All night, but not no more. But this is the most important part of coming up and getting everybody together. If you look on your table,
There's a barcode on the table. Saw a brother in the back picking his teeth with it. It's a barcode, brother. Ran out of napkins or something. But this is how we give back to the school. And you look at your envelope also, it's in increments. I think it goes up to 1,000, but we got to do more than 1,000, okay? So I got to get with the people who made the envelope because there's not a box for more. So in this room tonight, I think we can put together about 30 grand, minimum. So that's kind of what we're setting the standard at, of 30 grand. I'm gonna start the giving. Baby, how much can we give? I'm gonna start my envelope at 1,500. That's small change, small change. 1,500 just for, like, I went to WD. We've been all talking about Muhammad schools. I went to WD. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Y'all know what WD is? Where you had the duck, Brother Sadiq was swinging on you. Brother Raouf was wrestling you down. Like this is the stuff that we know from WD. We were straight abused at that school. But guess what? It made us the men and women that we are today. And without those tuition payments, Sister Sophia couldn't get that ad. I know that's Meek right there. So I want everybody, please take a look at your envelopes, take a look at your barcodes, and let's get 30,000 minimum. Can I have your commitment to that? Let's make it happen. Don't get up until you fill out the envelope. Who's next? All right.
Assalamu alaikum! How y'all doing out there? Are y'all all right? My name is, okay, no it's not. My name is Majid Abdul Kareem. I'm on the consultative board of Muhammad Schools of Atlanta. And it is a phenomenal, wonderful, and stupendous honor to serve Muhammad Schools of Atlanta. Like our brother Masood said, this is about giving back from hence we came so that the seventh generation has a legacy that they can claim. While the sister was singing, I thought about a lot of different things, and all these concepts of S's came to my mind. Sacrifice, struggle, striving, and then success. So like the brother said, on your table is a barcode. You can take out your phone right now. Take a picture. It will take you to the Muhammad Schools of Atlanta donation page. You have options from $10 to $300, and then those beautiful blanks where you can ball out and get $10,000 if your pockets are that deep. And inshallah they are, because Allah tells us that He will give us more than we expect. As well, men jadda wajadda, whoever strives, we will succeed. Will we be successful tonight? That was like, I'm tired, I'm ready to go take the picture over there and roll around and smile. Are we going to meet these girls tonight? Oh, that's still kind of, I'm tired and I'm ready to go. Are we going to meet our goals so that our teachers, our students, our staff, our children have the money that they need, not to struggle and to strive, but to succeed? That was still weak. Can I get a yes, like you know how to say yes, please? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Can I get a big yes? Sister Quran, can I get a humongous yes? Yeah! Mashallah! Mashallah! Dr. Z, can I get a yes? Yes! Yes, yes! All right, let's dig in these pockets. Let's give this money. Let's
you have anything else? All right, everybody, I'm just here to close us out. Everybody having a good time? Y'all having a good time? All right, I thought so. I just want to do it real quick and just do an alumni roll call. So if you have graduated from the class of 92 to the class of 97, stand up, please. There we go. There we go. Now, next up, let's get the class of 98 to the class of 2002. Stand up. There we go. Okay. Good to see y'all again. I went to school with them. All right, now we got the class of 2003 to 2008. There we go. Class of 2009 to 2014. There we go, we represent. We still going high. Now the class of 2015 to 2020. All right, good. I just want us to know that we have to make sure that we know the importance. We are witnessing history in the making. We are witnessing history in the making. Our future pioneers are growing up right in front of our eyes. We have made tribute to several of them tonight. So we have to make sure that we have a duty to give back to the community that built us. This is why I myself chose to return to Mohammed schools. I stood on the shoulders of giants. And a lot of these people are still here. My principal, Sister Sophia Shaheed. I had my English teacher, Sister Quran Shakir. Brother Sadiq Majid was our counselor and Islamic studies teacher. Brother Isaac, there's countless others. I wish I had the time to call out everybody. But I have one more special shout out. I want to do a special thanks to Sister Nadirah Pierre and Brother Yusuf Chroma for their hosting services for tonight. And we have a special shout out to the class of 2001. This is their 20-year reunion. The 20-year reunion class. Special shout out to them. And lastly, I want to do another shout out to the two women who have made it incredibly possible for me to do what I do. That's my gorgeous wife, Rosa Mama. Can you please stand up, please? And my mother, Sister Halima Muhammad Ali. Thank you all so much. You all made me who I am today. So I want to go ahead real quick and let's close out and do all. We have to start just as well as we end. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Thank you all for coming out. Let's let the celebration begin. One thing, the cash app for Mohammed Schools is $MohammedSchools. Mohammed Schools.